Hello. Well, I'm back with a brand new video. So, let's talk about how today went. Well, let me think. January 31st, 2026, the last day of January. Well, I woke up at around 11:30. In fact, I actually stayed up all night last night because I was working on the previous video from last night, and it was just a hodgepodge of different things. For starters, like, me and my sister stayed up watching like X-Files up until like 2 in the morning. Then it took me like a half hour to record the video, but when I thought I was finished with it, I checked my camera on my phone, and it turns out that my phone ran out of battery. So I had to go and re-record some information that I was talking about in the video. Luckily, it wasn't too much. It was about like a minute of footage at the end, or like 55 seconds. But I had to wait for my phone to charge up again because it like was at 0%, and that took like a good 10 to 20 minutes. And then I thought, well, if I'm editing like a piece at the end, I think I should like try editing the whole thing to make it a bit more snappy, because it was like 33 minutes. So I put it through InShot's AI video editor to see what it could do with the footage. Cut out all the ums, uhs, and spaces, and then I had to rewatch the entire footage, because when it does the AI edit, there's certain points where it cuts a part of me midway saying a sentence, and then it sounds like a big snap in your ear, which doesn't sound good at all, and it ruins the audio experience of the video. Such a shame that that happens. So I had to rewatch all of the AI edited footage and keep the parts that sounded fine and cut out as many parts that had that snappy sound in the ear as much as I could. And then when all that was done, I exported the video, and I wanted to stay up until it was ready to be published. And the exporting process for the what ended up being a 29-minute video, 29-minute and something second video, it took like 25 minutes. And then finally, when it was done, I decided to publish it. And then when it was published, and as I was waiting for it to do everything, I was playing on my Nintendo Switch. I forget the name of the game, exactly what it was called. 1 second. I have it right here. Wavetail. I was playing Wavetail on my Switch during the moments when I had to wait. It's a pretty good game. It's like kind of like if Wind Waker and Sonic had a baby, I guess. But yeah, this once this video finished exporting, it was like 6 in the morning, and the whole process took like, gosh dang, 4 hours. And then I decided to watch the video to see how it came across when it was published. And then my mom walked in and saw me, and she was getting our cat Autumn, who was sleeping next to me at the time while I was doing my work. And we were talking about like some family stuff that was going on the other day. And then after that, I was like, okay, time to go to bed. So I went to sleep, and I woke up at like 9:30, used the restroom, then I went to sleep again, and I woke up at like 11. And I didn't need to go to work till 3. I decided to spend my time going to the back room to get a piece of cake, because we still had birthday cake from yesterday, and my mom was back there working on something on her computer, and she decided to serve me a piece of cake and a cup of coffee. And we were just talking to each other. She showed me a text she wrote for someone, and she wanted me to read, so I read it. And after reading it, I remember I decided to do some budgeting using ChatGPT. So I gave out like the amount that I spend per month that are the non-negotiables, like food, rent, utilities, stuff like that. And then I subtract it from the total amount I made last month and then see how much I'm allowed to spend per week to ensure that I don't go over budget. And apparently like $60 a week is like the recommended amount. But I guess if we're being more technical, $63 a week, which is about $9 a day. Now, I think in order to fully recover my funds, I'm going to do my absolute best to not spend any money for as long as I possibly can. And when I do spend money, I'm only going to spend it when it's absolutely necessary or if it seems appropriate. Like, ooh, I'm hungry. I don't have any access to food or free food, but I can buy something to eat, so I'm going to buy something to eat. So situations like that, I suppose. Like, but um, more idealistically, I would want to instead bring food with me, try to cut corners on costs as much as humanly possible because I got financially hit really hard with um, car repairs last year that I'm still recovering from, and the only way for me to properly recover from them is to watch my spending habits. So that's something that I was working on. My sister came into the back room, said hello to us. I said hello to her. Telling her what I was doing, she said she thought that was a really good idea and she'll think about doing that when she's working. And then she asked for my help to fix the coffee machine. For whatever reason, the coffee machine was having some real problems trying to grind coffee beans into powder and then turning that into pressed coffee. For whatever reason, it was having a difficult time. I think I need to clean the machine, but all I did was I removed the powder, threw it away in the trash. I took this pad that was underneath the machine for some reason, which was probably giving it an unlevel surface to sit on, so it could have a better, more level surface to sit on. And I turned it on again, and it seemed to work just fine. As I was doing this, my sister was researching to see if there were ways of fixing the machine on on Google. But we figured it out. Of course, though, I definitely need to make time, set time aside to clean the machine. Now, after all of that was said and done, I remember I went back into the back room, finished the cake, the coffee that my mom made. I didn't really like the coffee that she gave, and the reason why was because it was a drip feed coffee machine instead of the like the French press automatic Magnifica Evo machine that we have in our house. Um, we had coffee in the back room with like traditional like coffee brewing machine, and I think my tastes have been spoiled with that fancy coffee machine that grinds the coffee fresh and then brews it. Oh, like presses it down like a pod and like brews it to a perfect like consistency and you get the most flavor from it. But this, it's like, I mean, it tastes like coffee, but it's really, the flavor is not as heightened and it just is more bland and underwhelming. But yeah, as I was drinking the coffee and eating the coffee cake with the way too thick coffee icing on it, I was watching a video about like artificial intelligence as it was being researched in like the late 80s, like 1988. It was kind of boring, so I stopped watching it fairly early on, like just like 2 or 3 minutes. And it was basically a bunch of scientists like creating little graphs of like, oh, here's how we teach the AI to do this and that and that. And it's introduced to something and it has to figure something out by randomly guessing until it gets to the right answer eventually. Um, yeah, it was a lot. I guess basically the video was kind of just showcasing the early primordial ooze state of what AI was like back in the day, which is why I thought it was interesting because it's being so heavily integrated into people's lives nowadays that it's so fascinating watching this technology during a much more quaint time. But it was a little too dry for me. It's like British people talking about it, and I'm like, I'm sleeping. After that, I remember I went into my room. I decided to make a cup of coffee, and I said I was going to work on my Brain Jam Extra video for 20 minutes. So I worked on it for only 15 minutes. My sister gave me a chicken and bean burrito with nice, fresh tasting tortillas, of which I was very grateful for. I also had a zero sugar Dr. Pepper in a bottle to go with that, and a cup of coffee. And I was watching a Tex Avery cartoon to get ideas for where I can take my Brain Jam Extra video next. And that was a really fun time. Eventually, after all of that was done, I hold on. Let me just make sure this thing is on. Okay, good. It's on. 11 minutes. Okay, after that, it was time for me to get ready. I wet my hair, I combed it, I left. I said goodbye to my mom and my sister, told them that I love them. My family friend wasn't anywhere to be seen at the time, so I just had to go. When I arrived at work, I remembered, oh yeah, I have a half-hour lunch today. I didn't bring anything to eat. That's fine. I fasted before and I had no issue with it, so I can do it again. So I went in, I punched in, said hello to everyone, and I was told I was on sweeps for pretty much the whole day. So I cracked my fingers and got working. And to be honest, there's really not much to say about today. I mean, I swept the floors and produce and the floor area and the break room. Sometimes there'd be a funny interaction every now and then with one of my coworkers. Like I remember one of my coworkers said, "Yo, when we're together, it's like peanut butter and jelly," or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny, and cool. And I remember, yeah, I was telling a coworker about why I do breathing exercises, and I described to them what yoga nidra is. So that was kind of cool, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much all I really got to say about that. Work was honestly not too exciting, just a lot of sweeping. But the end of the day was kind of interesting, I suppose. Oh, and by the way, on my first break, I refilled my water canteen and I sat while doing a breathing exercise, which helped energize me. I didn't use my second break though, because when I'm closing, I usually like avoid taking a second break because I prefer using that time to just get as many closing tasks done, which was really important this time around because I didn't really have any pre-closer, co-closing partner that was like helping me out. So I had to do like a lot of everything on my own, from taking out the trash to refilling the paper bags to wiping down check stands 8, 7, 6, and 5. And thankfully, the cashier was there to help me out by wiping down check stand 4. So that was cool. I brought in 16 carts and the signs. And yeah, I made sure to sweep the floors. So that's pretty much all there's to really say about that. I said I punched out. After clearing the lot, I said goodbye to my co-manager and my cashier coworker. I headed off home. And oh yeah, I actually did tell one of my coworkers yesterday was my birthday, wish me happy birthday, so that was cool. And oh yeah, I did have an encounter with one of my high school friends from back in the day who was telling me that like he's wants to study journalism, and he finds it interesting and fun, and I was rooting for him. He was asking me how my Brain Jam thing's going, and I'm like describing how I'm drawing storyboards that demonstrate what I'm talking about as I'm reading Reddit comments. So yeah, it was cool to hear from him and how he's doing. So yeah. After work, I punched out. I said goodbye to my co-manager and coworker. I drove off back home. When I got home, our family friend was watching TV. I asked, "Where's my sister and where's my mom?" And she said, "My mom's asleep and my sister is off somewhere." And I decided to check in on my mom to see if like our orange cat was sleeping with her, because our orange cat's been doing that lately. I didn't see him, so that was a shame. And then I decided to listen to a new Jesse Michaels podcast where he's talking with a neurosurgeon who witnessed a otherworldly being, as well as the man who witnessed a UFO crash during the Virginia UFO incident. And as I was listening to that, I was eating chamoy strawberry like candy, and which was pretty good, pretty spicy and sour. I also had like 6 scoops of cookies and cream ice cream, because we still had some from yesterday's birthday party. And I also had leftover mashed potatoes from that fancy restaurant that my family friend took me to. So that was really good as well. And then I decided to go into my room as I was still listening to the podcast of Jesse Michaels. And as I was listening to it, I was finishing off 5 minutes of the Brain Jam storyboard. And when that was done, I decided to then spend the rest of my time doing some line work, some contour line work. And that was also a lot of fun as well. And then when I was done with that, I decided to use the restroom, listen to a Caper Site video where it was talking about like a guy who apparently was being, who lives in Mexico, who says he has footage of alien beings, but it could be AI, Sora 2 at this point. So honestly, like, it's hard to, take that kind of stuff seriously nowadays. I mean, you'd hope it'd be like legit, but there's so much deception now that it's hard to take anything that's a modern like sighting seriously, then I brushed my teeth, and I used mouthwash. I decided to record my update video right now. I haven't taken my vitamins yet. I'm going to take them after recording this, and then I will be going to sleep. So that's pretty much my day in a nutshell. I almost forgot to mention, I did do a meditation while listening to a Monroe group meditation session, and then I wrote down and journaled about it. And this was before I continued working on Brain Jam in the morning, and after being bored by that AI video from the late 80s. So there you go. Well, now that I've reported how the day went, I'm hoping that the first day of February goes off swimmingly. I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope you guys have an awesome first day of February of 2026 as well. That'll do for now. See you soon. Goodbye. And take care.